My name is Mike Hert, and my good friend Alexander, and we are co-hosting. Are you ready? The Outpost. And yeah, we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this show?
Been several years, 3.
Feels like that, yeah. We should check to see how many editions we have, because we might have to have like a birthday party pretty soon. Yeah, and with the Outpost, we are, Adam and I are with DAV Chapter 17, Rage, Fuller, Winnebago County. And the Outpost, it provides a great opportunity for us to be able to share with the community what DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, does with local veterans and the community as well. And I also like, because we also showcase our veterans, because veterans are a piece of American history. And, and as Army guys, we just celebrated our 250th birthday. That was a good one.
You don't look a day over.
I know. I always say I got my commission from Grant. So, but we have a really special guest today, and we have with us Barbara Belmont. Barbara, welcome on board the Outpost.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
I know.
I'm so glad you asked me and we were able to connect up with a time.
Okay, all right. Well, and that's the thing with Barbara. She wears a lot of different hats. But I think we begin with the first one, if you want to.
Yeah, sure.
With that.
So Barbara is the commander of our Chapter 17 here in Winnebago County. She's our fearless leader.
Yes, she is. She is. And, okay, unlike, being Army, like, she's not Army like that. She's Navy.
Go Navy.
Yeah. So, do we have any incriminating photos of her time in the Navy? Let's see.
Guess we could just start off by telling us what you
cool.
did in the Navy a little bit.
There I am on the left. I joined the Navy in 1985. I started out as a reservist, and then I was a reservist for about a year and a half, and then I decided to go active duty. I was in college at the time when I joined, and decided that I wanted something a little bit more and to be able to have a career once I finished my college degree. And so I put in to go active duty, and I was accepted into the TAR program, which
is the what?
It's a TAR program. It's where reservists are transitions into active duty, and then we work with reservists. So my career then would be based on working with reserve centers and getting the reserve members ready to be activated to active duty.
I never knew that term before. So you're
probably similar to our AGR in the reserves.
Okay.
Reserve.
Thank you. That's Adam does a good interpreter. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but so go ahead. Yeah. But go ahead.
I was going to say, so then I was able to be stationed in Plover, Wisconsin. We had a reserve center there, and I was in college at Stevens Point, so it worked out really good. And I spent 4 years. I had 220 reservists that I worked with. I was a storekeeper there, so I was the first storekeeper stationed at that center. Otherwise, we were housed out of Redcom out of Minneapolis, and they decided it was time that we needed somebody more permanent to handle the daily activities. So I was able to snag that job and spent 4 years there. Like I said, being a storekeeper, I managed the bills and was the finance officer there, and was able to take care of 220 reservists, make sure they had the clothing that they needed, make sure they were trained in the storekeeper field.
I got to ask you what like when first off, for people to know, us veterans, we tease all the branches, we tease each other, and it's just kind of the way it is, and so we have a lot of fun. But if it's anybody outside our group, it's like, don't think about it. But like for myself, I had a brother that was Army. I had some uncles that were Army, and that kind of influenced my choice. I know what it was for you, Adam, that you went Army.
Yeah, I happened to run into an Army recruiter, and I needed the free T-shirt because it was laundry day.
Okay, all right. And but what about the Navy? Was it a family history or just?
Did you just lose that loving feeling?
Well, yeah, right. Actually, I do have, my mom's uncle was in the Navy, but that's not what prompted me to go in the Navy. We had a Navy recruiter that was close to the campus, and I had tried to go Air Force or Navy, because at that time I was not doing Army or Marines, because that meant I'd have to live outdoors, and I was not one to want to be close to nature that way. Sure. So, and the Navy recruiter being right there on campus, we had an Army ROTC unit on the campus as well. But yeah, the Navy said, hey, we can get you to take your ASVAB test, and I don't usually do well on tests like that, and I scored very, very high, and so I decided it was a sign and it was something that was meant for me to do, and I figured if the Air Force wouldn't get back to me, Navy was my only other option.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's it's something that's kind of neat, because you did over 20 years, correct?
I did. I put 20 in between active duty reserve time and then inactive reserve. Being in the Navy, we were allowed to stay on contract and still earn retirement points by doing book work. So I spent several years doing book work to keep my good years of service.
Okay. Well, that's one thing. The other thing that always fascinated me with the Navy, too, is just, there's so many, you have the people that work on base, and then you have your surface warfare, and then you have your naval aviators and pilots, and then you have your submarine. It's just unbelievable how complex it is. So, but as an Army guy, it kind of hurts my head thinking about it. So, but Adam brought up a good point. That's why I was so excited to get you here as a guest. And in all honesty, you could probably do our next show too. but you wear a lot of hats, because how did you get in the DAV? Who brought you in?
I actually, about 7 years ago, put a claim in to become a disabled veteran, and then I approached Paul Baker. At the time was the commander, and I talked to him about joining, because Rosemary Pitts, when I was involved with her in other organizations as well, and she always had a love for DAV. So when I became a disabled vet, my goal was to then join the DAV, because she had a passion for the DAV as one of the top premier service organizations. Yeah,
I mean, Paul was just a super recruiter, and Rosemary. When I think of her, she was just like a matriarch for the veterans community.
Yeah.
She really was. But you wear a lot of hats, because you came on board. Now you're the commander of DAV Chapter 17. You're also have been elected. You are the department or state senior vice commander, which means all goes well. Next slot, you'll be the state commander for Wisconsin. And then you recently became the Northeast Wisconsin coordinator for DAV transportation, correct?
Correct.
And then on top of that, you're also a chapter service officer, and on Thursday afternoons you can be down at the chamber office. So, wow.
Yeah, it's all about helping the veterans. I really feel that, there's so much that we owe the veterans.
Yep.
And anything we can do to have them benefit their rights that they've earned is what we need to do, which prompted me to want to be a chapter service officer, because the DAV has such an excellent program for us to be able to assist and aid veterans and make sure that they're getting compensated for any ailments that they have gotten when they were in the military.
And so is there anything you're wanting to tackle in particular at this moment that you'd like to run with Adam?
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, I there's a couple of things hitting me, but one, what is a chapter service officer? And how do they, how can, there is a veteran or there's a family member, they are watching this show, and they are thinking, hey, I or my wife or my husband or my son or daughter should look at filing a claim. How can you help that? How can you help that veteran out there?
Basically, all we need to do is have a veteran or family member. They can stop in at the Chamber of Commerce office here on 120 Jackson Street on Thursday afternoons from 1 to 4. We have someone in the office that will be there to assist. We start by filling out a contact sheet form, which gives us more information on the veteran, where they served, when they were in the service, what ailments they might have, how they might have been injured within the military. And then we can go out and we can start filling out additional forms with an intent to file, so that we can look at then filling out a fully submitted claim, and we can then be able to have the veteran try to get a disability or increase their disability if they already have one. So it's really not that hard. You just have to have been injured to some point while
Right.
you were on active duty.
Well, and you know, it's a great point too, because so often it happens. Okay, like an Army guy, somebody's on the back of a 5-ton pickup truck. They jump off the truck, boom, they end up hurting their knee. You know, they might go on sick call. They might, and then all of a sudden, X amount of years later, it's like, I need knee surgery.
Yep.
And you can point it back all the way to
You
that.
didn't have to be blown up by an IED or shot by a sniper. You could,
Yeah.
you could have
Right.
hurt your shoulder doing a PT test.
Oh, yeah,
as a
yeah.
E3.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so just to go back real quick with the chapter service officer. So if you are in Winnebago County and you are wanting to meet with one of our CSOs, chapter service officers, how do they set up an appointment? Is there a number they should be calling? Place? What do they need to do?
Well, they can. There's a lot of different options. They can call the chamber office, which then they can give them our extension downstairs, which is extension 18, and they can leave us a message on the phone, and we can get back to them. They can. We have a website, dav17.org. They can go on the website and they can email our email address there and request request an appointment. A lot of times we get a lot of walk-ins. The only problem with the walk-in is if we don't know you're coming, sometimes we have to leave early, and we're not always there from 1 to 4.
Or you might be there with somebody else too.
Right, or somebody else could be there. So it is always good to call ahead. Leaving a message at the chamber is probably the easiest way to leave us a phone number, and we can return the calls.
Can you talk about some of your roles and responsibilities as as the chapter commander?
I think we've got some great pictures too here. So
Sure. As a chapter commander, basically our chapter has about 437 members in our chapter. Obviously, they're not all active. We partake in a lot of different activities throughout the year. And just going kind of back to the chapter service officer, we do hold 3 informational seminars a year at the Marine Corps League, where postcards get sent out to veterans within our area, and is another great way for people to come in to be able to get help with a claim or wanting to know what available to them. We participate in the parades. We do the...
Now, the ones we were just showing before, that was 4th of July.
we did 4th of July
yeah,
parade, and we do the Memorial Day procession.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we're able to use the DAV vehicles, so we have a bigger billboard identifying who we are. We do forget-me-not drives, usually at Festival Foods here in Oshkosh. In the summer months, we do them every other month on a Saturday.
No, that's a great point, because okay, I'm going to Festival Foods. I see somebody from DAV in one of the chairs with the forget-me-nots. Where does that money go toward?
It goes to support the veterans within our local community.
Yep.
So that's what's really nice about the Forget Me Not drives is it's all about all that money that we raise it goes directly back to the veterans. Nothing comes into our general fund. So it's really nice. We're able to, support the veterans. We've got several veterans that we can use for YMCA memberships if they need help with disability and they need service, PT rehab. We've also are working with a veteran right now for a service dog. We have a veteran who has significant injuries and his unfortunately dog passed away, so we're able to utilizes the resources we have to be able to help with that. We've had veterans in need where we've been able to help them because they had a fire. We were able to help them, or veterans that are on the verge of being kicked out of the apartment because their income is low. We're able to help out with rent at times, help them pay their utility bills. It's all about being able to help the veterans any way we can, and we have a request form that we fill out, and then we just go through the process of vetting the vet and making sure that they're eligible, and then we will provide support as best we can.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Scott in the engineering room real quick. Can you show us some of the chapter pictures just for us to kind of walk through real quick? Because it gives a real, you have internal things you're doing, external things. This was fun. This was I think this was last year's state convention, I believe, or was this national?
That was national.
That was national.
Yep,
okay.
that was national.
And who are you hanging out with?
In Phoenix, Arizona. We have our adjutant is on the left. At the time, with Stacy Fox, who was junior vice, and then that was the national commander, Nancy Espinoza, and then I'm next to her, and then in the front row, Chris Reichert. She was our BPTL at the time. She's still our BPTL and our judge advocate. And the gentleman in the back is John Heft, who is one of our
number
junior,
two. Junior, because
one of our auxiliary
John
members.
Heft, our adjutant.
John Heft, our adjutant, and John Heft Jr. Yeah, he's one of our auxiliary members that went out, and this was one of our meet and greet the national commander at the convention. This is our chapter meeting where every meeting we do a certificate of merit.
And that's something that's kind of, every commander has their touch.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things you brought in, is that every month you recognize somebody for a job well done.
Right. I think it's very important that we do recognize our members and thank them for the great work that they're doing within our organization. It always helps to get people motivated and want to continue doing the good work when they know they're being recognized.
Well, I'm thinking, and I could be off, but was this for the Hert games? Because that's something you brought on board this year, which was real new for us, and it ended up a good thing.
Yes, we did start out working with the arena, and they had Venue Works that's out there, and we were able to secure a spot to do fundraising during the Herd games. So this last year, we were at every single Herd game running a food booth and raising money for our organization to help support the veterans within our local area. And Corey was one of my big helpers that helped organize.
And then, going back with the Herd games, it was funny how it kind of affected things at home, because Julie was helping out at the Herd games, and all of a sudden, I'd be at home and she would have Milwaukee Bucks games on, and I was like, what's going on? And she was like, since I've been going to the Herd games, I'm kind of into basketball a little bit. So yeah, it was amazing how affect. Now
here's a picture of DA Van, and you're the new transportation committee coordinator. So.
And there's the official mascot.
Yep, there's our mascot. Yeah, cute little Henry there. Yeah, this was one of our 4th of July parades. Again, like I said, we like to participate in the parades. You got Henry and Milo there.
Yeah,
don't
they're both
you?
there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't realize both the dogs were there.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's very nice. We'll be right in the parades. I mean, if we know that there's a parade going and we're invited, we just need to get notification at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. We can request the van, and then we can get one of our drivers, which I'm one of our DAV transportation drivers here locally. So
One thing, Adam had brought up, and I just want to kind of go back on that as long as we're on this photo. You are the new transportation coordinator for Northeast Wisconsin, and you actually took over for a past national commander, Dick Marbs, who is
Big shoe to fill.
yeah. And I mean, Dick is like a legend in
Yes.
the DAV community. Yes, it's an inside joke. and so you just started that. So, well, first off, starting small, going out. So, like, if you're in Oshkosh, you're in Winnebago County, and you are interested in getting a ride, how does that work? And then how does that work as, Northeast Wisconsin?
basically, about a year and a half ago, we started up a transportation hub here in Oshkosh, which basically helped me secure the job the role that I'm playing right now within the transportation program. Is we started from the ground up. We had a vision, which I believe, Mike, it was part of your vision to be able to get a transportation hub here locally, so that we could help the local veterans get to their appointments in Appleton and Green Bay. Currently, there used to only be rides to Milwaukee, and then the veterans had to get their own transportation if they needed to go anywhere else. So we were able to utilize our chamber office that we were using for our chapter service officers and house transportation downstairs now Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon. Again, if they call the Chamber of Commerce, they can set up a transportation appointment. All they got to do is leave us a message, let us know their name, their phone number, their address, where they need to go, and then we'll get back with them and we'll get it set up so that we can transport them. We picked up the veterans from their homes. So that's really kind of fortunate for our veterans, because a lot of them weren't able to get to different locations, and you would hate to have the veterans miss their appointments. Then being noted with the good work that we did here in Oshkosh with getting a program set up and getting and really enhancing the program and having, we can always use drivers. So if you're somebody that is interested in wanting to volunteer and help out driving, definitely can use volunteers. We can always use extra help in the office if people are interested. And then
I did want to give one big shout out, though, to the Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce.
oh yes,
Rob Clayman and the folks there have been just incredible to us.
they are awesome. They bend over backwards for us, which is so nice. They're all about helping the veterans out, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, then about 2 months ago, Dick started talking about being time to retire, being up there in age, and just being ready. So then I was approached by Voluntary Services and said that there's an opening that's going to be opening up, and we'd like you to apply to become the new transportation coordinator for the northern part of the state.
And they released some white smoke from state headquarters.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's pretty incredible to
Yeah.
step in those shoes. Her shoes. Yeah.
Yep. Dick has big shoes to fill.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so the other thing, do we have any more chapter pictures real quick?
Oh,
whoa!
This is this
I
last
did
department
not
convention.
slip. Okay, I'm going to say it. I did not. I was tempted, but I did not slip the picture in with you doing the YMCA.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting convention.
Yeah, we had fun. Well,
What happens at convention stays at convention.
That's right.
Well, I'm good for once. I did karaoke. I did Ring of Fire. I'm like good for one song.
Yeah.
So, but we had actually Dan Contreras there.
We did. Dan Contreras is our national commander. So he was available to come to our convention. So we were fortunate, and we were able to get some pictures with him. So several of our members, he is very gracious with taking pictures. His motto is to be the last one standing in the room.
Yeah.
So he made a point to be the last one, and he takes pictures. He wouldn't leave until he was the last one out, and then he takes his picture so he can prove that he was the last man standing.
Yeah.
But a great guy. We really had a good.
He's good karaoke singer.
He loves karaoke and golf.
So yeah. So, but that also brings up another thing too. That we're talking a little bit about the chapter service officers. Looking at transportation, but you're also, we call it the department. Some people may call it the state level, but you're at the department level, and you're actually the senior vice commander, and. To share with folks, the next position up past there, that's the state commander. And so what has it been like as the senior vice commander and your roles and responsibilities for that? Because all of a sudden, you go from focusing on Winnebago County to the whole Badger State.
Well, what's really nice with being senior vice is being able to share the opportunity of joining DAV with the whole state, and in encouraging folks to be able to get out there and talk to members, to be able to let them know what the DAV is all about, and to be able to join our wonderful organization. We do have one of the responsibilities of the senior vice is membership. So one of my primary goals is to make sure that everybody is aware of DAV, what it's about, how we can recruit people. This is one of our business expos that we do here in Oshkosh. And one of the key things that I like to tell members is, we got to get out at events. We got to get our name visible.
Yep.
We've got to be at as many social events that the community is promoting.
Well, you guys go to business after hours?
We go to business after hours. Yep, every month the chamber has a business after hours. So that's where we network and connect up and meet different local people in the community. We also then are able to network with the different businesses and be able to utilize their resources to help our veterans as well. And that's where we run into the different. So it's really nice to be involved in the community.
I'm going to make a shameless plug on this one, but the Department of Wisconsin for DAV, every year they have an award for Recruiter of the Year. Do you know who got this year's?
This year was Matt Kempinen. The year before was me.
Okay, but you were in second, though.
I was in second, yes.
Okay, so last year you took it, this year you were second.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I guess what I look at, you're really walking the walk, where you're talking about membership, but you're doing membership.
Correct.
So
I think you need to lead by example. And if you're going to be a good leader, you have to be willing to do the work and do what you're asking your members to do. And I think that that's very important.
okay, when does DAV Chapter 17 meet? Because we're starting to get in the.
Yeah.
Yep, fourth
There we're-
Tuesday of every month. 6:30 starts the meeting. We do a potluck at 5:30. Everybody is welcome to come join us, and don't have to always bring something, but we always ask the veterans to come out, check us out, and get together and meet with our local fellow veterans.
Right. Thank you for joining us on this month's edition of the Outpost.